Earning money in hard time, money and survival. Welcome to today's podcast where we structure, we remold and reset your mind, where we put confusion into direction, where we bring clarity when there is confusion. My name is Nwali Tochukwu. I'm an entrepreneur, author, and public speaker. Today's podcast is going to be focusing on one thing: earning in hard time, money and survival. I repeat once again: earning in hard times, money and survival. So we're going to be digging deep into this monster, into this myth of where people think that they cannot earn when there is change in the economy. I'm going to use a quote from Drucker, Peter Drucker. He says, the greatest danger in hard time is turbulence. Turbulence is not the danger. The danger is using yesterday's logic to solve today's problem. Many people are still applying yesterday's logic. Majority of the people are still using yesterday's system, forgetting that technology has changed, applications has changed, knowledge have changed, business have changed, jobs in the marketplace or the job marketplace have as well changed. So we are going to unlock jobs versus business. For some of you are working class, and some of you who own business, or those who are aspiring to own business, stay back, relax, and enjoy the podcast. If you're tired of surviving and ready to build intelligently, you are in the right place. Today, I'm going to be giving you those balance analysis between should I hold on to my job or should I build business. I'm going to be unlocking those things and give you a balance and clarity. Let's think, let's build, and let's move today. Did you hear what I said? Let's think, let's move, and let's build together. Hard times don't destroy people. What destroys people is strategy. Strategy, lack of application of strategy to survive hard times is what destroys people. Once you lack strategy, you will not be able to survive hard time. I know majority of Nigerians, be it at home or in diaspora, are facing hard time. Majority are also as well excelling in their own endeavor. So today what we want to balance is whether you are a working class, you got jobs, or you are a business owner, or you have that confusion whereby people are also talking about whether they should maintain their job or whether they should open their own business. So the debate is no longer job or business. The debate is which one can you control? That is what we're talking about today. So which one can you control? As you're listening to me today, that's the real question. Which one are you going to control? Because whichever one that gives you clarity, that gives you control, then you're on the right track. But if you are in either of these, whether you are working class or you are a business owner or you're aspiring to become a business owner, don't be confused. We are here to take you on the right track so that you will not be trapped, but rather you will have clarity of mind and purpose. Like I said at the opening speech of my quote from Peter Drucker, the greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence. It is the application of the yesterday's logic to today's problem. I'm paraphrasing it. What that simple means is that a lot of people have ignored the advent of AI. A lot of people have ignored that technology have changed, drastically shifted. Things are being simplified. You can get queries from either Google or ChatGPT within a twinkle of an eye. These things were not before. You have only one source, which was Google or probably some other search engine. Today, you have multiple sources who have embedded AI in the application. That is why Peter Drucker made the statement. So if you're still applying yesterday's system, you're going to be left behind. And we don't want you to be left behind. And that's why we're talking to you. Let's remove the noise in today's podcast. You've heard people say, quit your job and start a business. These things are all over the place. You've heard also people say, start a new business. You've heard all kinds of people's opinions on issues of life. Just get a stable job. That's what you hear. And those who are already working are already contemplating, should they start a new business? And those who are already in the business are already contemplating, should they quit their job, their business and start a paid job? These are the confusion and the noise as a result of hard times. But what nobody is telling you is this: the real problem is not the job or the business. You're going to hear the real problem today. If you like what I'm saying, type on the chat board, job and business. Drop your questions and we will do justice today. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you for thumbing up to our podcast and our presentation today. The real problem, like I said, is income vulnerability. It's income vulnerability. People are vulnerable to income, and that is the problem right now. So it's not whether it is the job or the business. The problem is income vulnerability. If one thing can collapse your job or your source of income, you are financially exposed. If one thing can happen right now and collapse your entire life, you are financially exposed. And we don't want you to be financially exposed. And that's why we are talking about the vulnerability of income. Jobs versus business. Then we are going to be giving you the hybrids. The hybrid is the one we're going to be giving you a way out on how you can balance this thing. Whether you are a working class or you are a business owner, or you intend to be a business owner or you are a working class. So we're going to balance those equations today. So when they hear start a business, it sounds hopeful. Yes, it sounds hopeful. When you hear people say start a business, it sounds very hopeful. When they hear secure a job, it sounds safe. That's what we're saying. So either of it sounds hopeful and secure. if you hopeful you want to start a business, very fantastic idea. But for some of us already in business, who have created multiple of businesses, we know where the shoes pitches us. It sounds safe for those who are working because you have job security. And I'm going to be giving you the advantage and disadvantages. And I'll provide clarity and I'll give you the reality check for you to check out which one do you want to stick to as you go on in life. Because there are going to be challenges, there are going to be issues, either of it. There are going to be challenges. But the point is your income going to be vulnerable? Is your earning going to be affected? So how do you now be able to, even if it is affected, to have alternative, to have another stream of income that can balance? Listen to me, like I said, Nigerians are overworked, underpaid, and of course overqualified, and underpositioned. Those things are not fault of yours. It's the fault of the environment and the leaders who have made decisions that affected development and have derailed stability and so many other things. Again, I'm going to be telling you some believe today that a job is a security. I'm going to be talking about job right now. So if you're working class, pay attention. Or you intend to get secure a job, pay attention to what I'm going to be talking right now. Because those things are the things we will look at. I came working class, I've worked for decades before I conceived the idea of running my own business, and I'm still working. So the point now is, how do you balance it? Some are trapped, they are fearful. A job is a security, absolutely. A business is freedom to some people. Those are the things you hear. Job, secure job. Business, freedom. Some people want to run business because they want to have their own freedom. But I tell you, from the books I've read and to the one I wrote, if you own the business, you have more bosses. Who are your bosses? Your customers. So you have more bosses when you own business. You have more responsibilities when you own business. So both can empower you, whether you are in business or whether you are working class, both of them. But one thing I want to balance this morning on this podcast so that there will be clarity and there will be focus and there will be decisions can be made based on fact. As Warren Buffett said, never depends on a single income. Make investments to create a second source of income. So what is saying? This is a man who is a multi-billionaire, a stock guru who has created multiple businesses, an investment guru, and also the one who has built real estate, has different businesses that generate income for him. So here it is. He's not telling you that you should drop your job. He's not telling you that you should quit your job. He's not telling you should quit your business. He's telling you that you should, while you're on, either you're a working class, you need also to start thinking of a secondary source of income. So what we call multiple stream of income. In that way, you will not be vulnerable to income. The vulnerability will be mitigated. That's what we're talking about today. So if these things make sense to you, please drop job versus business so that we can stay together and stick together. So sometimes jobs can be stable. Sometimes the stability is a kind of stability if you are working. Because at the end of the month or end of the week, depending on the location where you are, you know that you have your paycheck. Yes. And it's also predictable. It's a predictability when you have a secure job. Of course, there's the mental peace, there's cash flow. What we're talking about, mental peace, at least you have something to be able to take care of the bills at the end of the month. You know, you have something to be able to pay for some certain things, whether medical care, insurance, and all that, so on and so forth, the rental properties and all that. Sometimes it also has its own disadvantage, the cons. Sometimes I'm going deep right now, so bear with me, stay with me. You know, this thing is very, very real. We're not here to motivate you. We're here to give you clarity. We're here to make you to become discomfort. And by being discomfort, you can find comfort. So the disadvantage is what I'm going to be outlining right now. Pay attention. Inflation eats salary. So some parts of the world which inflation has become unbearable. For example, in Nigeria, I use it as a test case. Inflation is on a high time high. High time high. So whatever that you have, inflation has eaten up. Cost of purchasing power become weak, so people are vulnerable. There's also layoff. Sometimes companies, businesses can lay off staff when there is limited sales or income. And those things can become one of the challenge for the working class. And sometimes it makes you depend on a system you don't like or you don't have control. Because when you work in a company or an organization or business, you don't have control of what happened. So absolutely, you are not immune. There could be changes, there could be policies, changes, there could be some things can happen that can affect it. So most job holders are not stable. They are on salary, on one salary, delaying away from anxiety. So these things are actually the problem. The anxiety, the pressure, the challenges. So if missing one paycheck can shake your entire life just for not being paid for 1 month, it can affect you. That means, or for 1 week, it can affect you. That means you're vulnerable. So those are the things we're talking about. You are not secure then. That means the notion that job is a security is not actually secured. So you are exposed, you are vulnerable. So we're going to be talking about this and also go to the line for those who are business owners and those who are aspiring to own their business. So I'm going to balance this thing. I'm going to balance this equation today. That equation will be balanced so that those who are watching us we have more clarity and we'll be able to make well-informed decisions versus the noise that you hear on social media and other various platforms. Quit your job, start a business without providing a clear blueprint on how those things work in the real life. For some of us who have tested both, I can share both of them. There are times when you start a new business, it feels like you need to quit that business. Go and get a secure job. When there are no sales, business is powerful, but business in Nigeria is not a romantic one. It's hell. I mean, hell on earth. Because the environment does not favor businesses. The environment are craft for politicians, unfortunately. Those who have no clue of what goes on. The majority of them are coming from their career has been politics. So they don't create policies that favors business owners and entrepreneurs or creative thinkers. So we do not have them. So the unlimited upside down. And of course, the business advantage is asset creation. As a business owner or an entrepreneur, you are not limited. You can create as much as your mind can conceive. You also have control. You control your time, you control what you do. But majority have fallen into this trap and left their paid job, well-secured job, to start business. Most times, the risk, they don't consider the risk factors. Most times, they've not done their own research work or carry out the prototype in the marketplace to be able to test what the consumers need. What we call most viable products. You bring the most viable product, whether service or product. They're not doing that. So emotional pressure, most times, these are the cons. These are the risk. As a business owner, like I painted, sometimes you are burnt out. And I know most of my colleagues who own business can attest to what I'm saying. Sometimes you are burnt out. Sometimes you're under pressure. Those pressures are what brings out the best if you're able to overcome it and absorb it. That sometimes in Nigeria, where you have a plenty power supply, you have power costs. The cost of running your generator is another issue. No power, don't expect power always. They're holding the lights, and sometimes you have shortage of cash flow. No sales. You have to do the overhead costs. You have to pay salaries. You have to pay, power supply that they never supply. So there are a lot of things, overheads, the cost to pay taxes, and also to pay double taxations that we have in the country, from the local government to all kind of unregistered tax collectors. Some of them are just tax collectors. They have no bearing, which will, at the end of the day, kill the business. So when you are faced with government or faced with policies that are unfavorable to business, that does not care whether you survive or not, that can be able to lock your business premises without consequence, that have no human feeling, they don't care whether you survive or not. They don't care whether the staff or those that are working in those business environments are laid off. I participated in one program organized by one of the states in Nigeria where they were discussing, a woman was raising the issue of how she developed hypertension because her premises was locked by the local government tax collectors. This is what majority of the small business owners in Nigeria go through every year. They come with police, they come with sometimes all kind of orthodox security officers. They intimidate you, to harass you. And then they come with all kind of taxes. Tax burden kills business. Other countries of the world, they have what they call tax incentive. They also what they call tax freedom for business owners. In fact, they have also the opportunity to train some businesses who are starting afresh to be able to stabilize and also employ. Because when you employ people, you've removed unemployment rates from the government. So imagine if governments of some third world, be it in Nigeria, Ghana, whether in other parts of the Kenya or Ethiopia, are building policies and favoring business owners, the unemployment will be reduced. They will take a lot of people out of job market. They will take a lot of pressure from government. So but what we hear today is tax, tax, tax. So that's what we hear. Tax, tax, tax. Not creating the favorable environment, no access to funds. Government is not taking risk to bail out or to bear the risk by creating source of income or source of loans, soft loans for small business owners so that they can access the money and be able to pay for a long term. Because government will come in to be able to stand as guarantors for small businesses to be able, because those small businesses don't have any assets where they can use as collateral to be able to access commercial bank loans or so on and so forth. The thing is this, majority of the time, the copy trends, business owners, I'm talking about the business owners right now, they lack capital, and of course, lack discipline. If you want to succeed in business, you must be disciplined. You must be able to have both. so that when there is no sell, when there's no income cash flow, you could be able to manage until business pick up. Like now we are in a hard time, a very challenging time, a very confused time, a very pressure-packed time. Everyone is under anxiety. So let me give you statistics right now. We're on stats right now. 20 to 50% of small and business and medium-sized enterprises, what we call the SMEs, fail in their first year. That's the stats there. Why? Because of lack of discipline, lack of exposure, lack of knowledge, lack of proper research to be able to understand what works versus what does not work. It's not because you see your uncle or your brother or your in-law or your sister opening business or your neighbor have business and you think they are making it. Stop that mindset. Do due diligence. So personal approach to business often take a personal, approach rather than building a sustainable business model. As I go on, I'm going to give you a profound quote from Michael Geber, the author of Emails. I'm going to give you that. So, sustainable business model. Before you start any business, do due diligence, do research, go to the marketplace, go to those who are in the business. In fact, some advice for those who are still starting new and the younger ones. Go to do apprentice to those who are in that business. If you really want to succeed in business, you need to do these things. It's not just you look at somebody succeeding, you think you don't know how they are running their business. You don't know what goes into the nitty-gritty, the language, the system, the do's and the don'ts in those businesses. And most times, our businesses will take it personal. Owners' involvement in every part of the business. Without the owner being in the office, in the shop, the business will collapse. That cannot help their business to scale. It cannot. The business cannot scale in that direction. That's what we're talking about. So you have to run a business that can run without you. Build system, build staff, and empower them, and give them the training, the prerequisites to be able to run a business. In that way, you have to detach yourself from this mindset. I borrow a quote from Mike Geber, a renowned author of one of the best-selling books, The Emails. The Emails. Work on your business, not in your business. Is a popular saying from a guru, from someone who have worked with small business enterprises and entrepreneurs, who have created and built through his teaching and his education, have helped so many people to become prosperous in their business and to scale up their business. So work on your business, not in your business. That's a popular quote from Mike Geber, The Emails. The Emails, this book has inspired generation of wealthy entrepreneurs who have succeeded by applications of Michael Geber. And I'm saying to you today, if you have opportunity to grab the book, grab it, because it's going to direct you. It's going to show you what work behind. What you see at the front desk or the front office is quite different from what work behind. The behind is power, pressure packed. And that's what we're talking about today. So if you like what I'm saying, drop the comment, business versus jobs, and hybrids plus hybrids. Business versus job plus hybrids. The SME, like I said, in Africa, SME, in Nigeria, SME count between 90 to 96%. That's the statistics. In 2023 publication, African AFDB 2023 made it that the employment generation in Africa is between 90 to 96%. The SMEs, they create the job. Even in Nigeria, the SMEs create majority of the job. But what happened? They are choking. Choking not because there is smoke, choking because of the policies of the government. And I advise those in the positions who are creating policies, if you do not know what the SMEs are going through, you need to go to some of those organizations who are unions and those do research to find out what small businesses are going. They are dying. Majority of them are under life supporting machine. Business is like when a business dies, somebody dies. Part of your body dies. Somebody's job is taken away. Somebody's families are affected. And then, of course, the government that want to tax, you're going to lose those tax. Because if you create enabling environment, create stable environment, create power stability, and they're able to create an orderly environment where you have a uniform tax, of course, you are coming up with all those things, but the majority of them are ill-conceived because you've not done the needful. You first create enabling environment, and then the business environment creates opportunity for SMEs to access loans. And then once they're stable, you can tax. That's the way it works in overseas that we are borrowing. They first create the structure, the infrastructure, and then after creating the infrastructure, now everybody, almost say 70 to 80% are stable. Now you can come with a tax. But sometimes you do have tax break. What do you do that? To enable them stable, business becomes stable. So when the businesses are stable, it creates more job. Like I said. So these are the things we're talking about today. So it's very profound that you pay attention for those who are policymakers. That most of the things you are churning out there are hurting SMEs. They are hurting not just the owners of those businesses, but also hurting families. Because business is created, there are suppliers. There are so many people, layers that benefit from those businesses. Of course, we know Nigerians as we have so many self-employed people who are supposed to be working, but they are running small businesses. Those small business, what we call nano business owners, a very small, tiny kiosk, and then they create it, business is going. Then the hybrid survival model is what I want to recommend. So because I'm going to be doing more of this to open the eyes and also for those in the position of authority to be able to borrow or lend and have something to really do a thorough research before you come up with any policy. Use your job for cash flow. Use business to scale up. Use businesses to leverage. What we're talking about. If you are working class, your job becomes your cash flow. If you own a business, you try to use the business to leverage. Because the businesses can become your assets. If you have a good accounting system, a good auditing system and record and properly structure your business system processes, you can use it, the cash flow, to be able to access loan from bank. Don't forget these three things that I'm going to mention on the line right here. As I wrap up, as I'm digging down to this, these three things is what I want you to do. Your job feeds you, no doubt. Your job feeds you. Okay? We know that. We're not doubtful of that. But your business frees you. It frees you to be able to do some things. It frees you to be able to impact and create the world. Just like you have in so many Elon Musk. You have Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon. Of course, Aliko Dangote, His Excellency Aliko Dangote, and rest of other one, have created businesses out of nothing. They create business. Some, like the history we know, Dan Tata loaned him 500,000. He used that to trade, and today he's the richest man in Africa. There are a lot of you who have access to funds, but you have a misplaced priority. You are trying to impress someone, either by the way the car you drive, the house you live, the clothes you put on, impressing everybody. The phone you use, so the shoes, the bags, the hair you put on for the ladies. Shout out to the ladies out there. very expensive job, hairdo. Don't quit emotionally. I'm advising those who are listening to me. These are the three things I want you to take away. Don't quit your job emotionally. Maybe under pressure, or maybe out of the demand of the work, you quit. Don't start business blindly. These are the things I want you to take home today. Don't quit your job emotionally. Don't start a business blindly. Do a thorough research. Learn what it takes to run those businesses. Because a lot of businesses collapse or die as a result of people starting business blindly because they see their neighbor buying car, or they see their neighbor living in a big house, and they said, if I do this business, I'm going to be like him or her. Develop leverage. When you create that business, leverage on your business to be able to access some money or fund that be able to. So, as I end today's podcast, stop asking, should I quit? A lot of people ask that question. Should I quit? Should I start a new business? How do I reduce income vulnerability? That should be the question I should be asking myself. How do I reduce being exposed to lack of money all the time? How do I create multiple stream of income? You have to stabilize one first. Because people hear multiple stream of income. Do this one, do that one. Make sure you master one first. And let that one be generating income. Cash flow. So once it's generating income, you can now be able to create another second investment source of income, just like Warren Buffett said. You create secondary source of income. And don't forget that as an entrepreneur, you are solving problems. So if you want to start a business, start thinking about the problem that people face and create solution to them. If I spoke to you today, if what I said makes sense as I close this podcast today, do not forget to follow us. And do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Because we'll be bringing so many mind-changing and transformation of different niches that will transform your life. Comment job, comment business, or hybrids, and let's talk strategy. Once again, my name is Nwali Tochukwu. I'm an author, an entrepreneur, and a public speaker. Thank you for watching, and do have a wonderful day. Thank you.